Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Koki Otaku. Today with us we have a very special guest. She voices Kikoru Shinomiya in the super awesome Kaiju number 8, Nephelia in An Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride, Pipi Barlier in the super hilarious I'm in Love with the Villainess, Baby Ling Wang in The Daily Life of the Immortal King, also a unicorn we're going to talk about later, Mokke in After School Hanako-kun, and the one of the voices of Eternity Devil in Chainsaw Man, and a very special anime we're going to talk about with it, in which she voices Chilchil in KamiKatsu. So without any further ado, please give it up for Abigail Blythe.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks to you for joining us this morning, which, by the way, is morning today. We usually record during late night. Today is early day, so I'm waking up. But we're going to make it so excited to have you with us here, Abigail. So we need to kick it off with a lot of action. The latest anime series that I think it killed it this season, and many of us were expecting to have a very cool series, and damn, it was cool. Talking about Kaiju number 8, when you had the main role of Kikoru. Oh my god,
Kikoru Shinomiya.
I know, it's a mouthful. I know. Whenever I first got the role, I was like, Kikoru Shinomiya. It's a mouthful for sure. And my mom was like, what was that? What was it? You're gonna have to tell me the name of that character again.
It's like we're not used to like all the K's, like.
And the thing is, during backstage, I said it all right all the time when we were recording.
It's always like that. It's always gonna be like that.
Classic with the mic. But for those who haven't seen yet this Kaiju number 8 series, how would you describe it in your own words?
Yeah, so it centers around Kafka, 32-year-old. Like you could do like point out, he's old. He's old.
He's young. No, he's young.
He's old. But he is just a normal everyday worker who gets a chance to be on the defense force. Before he gets on the defense force, though, he accidentally eats a kaiju. Or it's still up in the air in the manga, the whole backstory behind this creature that somehow finds its way into Kafka's stomach and turns him into a kaiju, which I'm very excited whenever that information does come out in the manga, because I am up to date on that. And yeah, so he is split between kaiju and man, and he is on the defense force, and where he meets Reno and his everyday job, and then he meets Kikoru and the training, and it's all about him and his battle with his humanity and him battling with other kaiju and Kaiju number 9. It's very action-packed and very emotional and very funny. It's so comedic and so awesome.
Let me make a parenthesis over there. They kill me with that age stuff. Everything they say, oh, I'm an old dude, like, yo, we're 32, what's going on here?
Like, 32 is actually not that old. It's not that old, but in anime it is old.
They need to change this already.
Well, I'm just going to say that at least there are some anime in which the 30-year-olds, they even start making a lot of, like, wrinkles on them, and they even put, like, white hair. I'm like, what are you doing?
No.
Like, they're in the cusp of youth. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you hit your, like, mid-20s in anime, and you just start to see it disintegrate.
Right, they're always like, oh, 28. Oh, so you're gonna be young. You're gonna be single forever, never gonna marry, whatever. Like, Jesus, guys, they have their whole life ahead of them.
I know, yeah. In real life, 32 is not that old. I like to say that your 30s are like your teens of your adulthood, because your 20 is like it's like your baby. You're a baby in adulthood. You're just trying to like figure things out. You're like a toddler. But then when you get into your 30s, like, you know how to pay bills. You should have like a stable like income and living and things like that. And that's when you get to have fun. And then your 40s is like your adulthood.
And I don't know how it to you guys, but every time that I look back, I see friends people I met, friends that like 20s, I'm like, they look so baby.
Yeah,
And
they're babies.
we were so ignorant back then at that age because there's so much new things going on. And now that we're like the terrorists, we're like, I'm still ignorant, but not that ignorant.
Yeah, very naive. Yeah.
And every time I applaud every time that there's a character, any series, any waifu, they're like, oh, she looks, and she's like 40. I'm like, amen to the artist. Great. I appreciate the respect.
I love that.
Anyway, leaving behind this crisis with the age. Talking about your character Kikoru, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Kikoru is one of your most aggressive characters that you have so far, Doc?
I think so. Yeah, I think attitude-wise, she's definitely the most like tsundere character that I've voiced. Like big attitude, very like strong. Yeah, I'd say that's correct.
How would you describe your character to those who haven't met Kikoru yet?
She is has a lot of confidence that she's built up over her years. With her father's expectations on her, she has become the best in her class and one of the best in the nation, as you see later on in the series. The third best in the defense force, which is crazy for a 16-year-old, basically, is what she is. And she has a lot riding on her. So you definitely see the stress for sure, especially in episode 4 when she's up against Kaiju number 9. Like the stress of the expectations of her greatness. So there's a lot backing into her character that makes her really complex and really fun to voice. She loves picking on her friends, which she maybe wouldn't say. Maybe she would say at the end of the series, but it was definitely Kafka, Reno, Iharu, all her friends on the defense force. How she shows her affection is very like bully, bratty way, which is not dissimilar to how I am in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
I was about to say that because Kikoru, from the first moment she made it to the series, she was a badass.
Yeah.
And she kept being a badass. Even in the tsundere moment, she was a badass tsundere, the sweetest she makes. So she never let that go down. So you said that she's not like you in that part?
She's not dissimilar to me, so we are pretty alike. I think we're pretty similar. We both not really comfortable with affection and in that way. And so how we show our affection is more in like, like bullying our friends and
I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, and just joking and just like fun pranks and things like that. Not really one for sentimental things with most people. With my friends and things like that, it's mostly just picking fun with each other and having fun. Yeah.
Like, if I'm around, it's because I like you, okay? You're not gonna get any more than that.
If I didn't like you, I just wouldn't talk to you.
Right.
I just keep to myself. I have a very small circle. It's just me, like my partner, and like a couple close friends. But other than that, like I just focus on myself and on the grind and the people that matter.
I feel like those
By
are the
the
best
way.
friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're
By the
like,
way.
why do you be so bully? Because you're my friend, and I trust in you, and that's why I'm hitting you, telling you the truth. Like what?
Exactly. If I didn't care about you, I just wouldn't say anything at all. So if I'm telling you what you're doing wrong, then
Yeah.
that means I care
That's
about
love.
you.
That is love.
That's love.
Does your shirt have Kikoru in it? Because I've seen it glow. I'm like, oh, that looks so cool.
My shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Kaiju number 8 shirt, but it
'Cause it-
has
It's
pop.
a metallic sheen. I'm like, oh, that looks so cool in there.
Yeah, I got it from Hot Topic, which is so crazy because I have been a Hot Topic shopper since I was very young. And being able to see something that I voiced in Hot Topic was so crazy to me. I
I gotta have it.
was such like a fangirl moment because I love Hot Topic and like I've always had kind of like an alternative aesthetic. And so I was like, oh, I have to get this shirt. It's so cool.
I mean, but they always bring like cool anime things to Hot Topic, though.
Yeah, it was just the first time I'd ever seen like a character that I voiced, or like even an anime that I voiced in there. So it was like a big milestone for me.
The other one is probably Spencer's.
Yeah,
that one brings a lot of anime merch.
And box lunch too.
I haven't tried that one yet. Need to check it out. But going from Sundare's aggressive love to more sweet love, another new character talking about Nephelia in an Archdemon dilemma, how to love your elf bride. It was very sweet. It was long, but it was super sweet. How do you describe this series for those who haven't watched it yet?
Yeah, so an Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride, very lengthy title, mouthful, as anime titles usually are these days. It's really, really wholesome and sweet anime if you like romance and you like fantasy, and even has slight BDSM topics in a very healthy way. I'm like, I feel like this is hitting on something that needs to be talked about more.
Yes.
But it centers around Zagon, who is a sorcerer and like a fantasy world. It's not an isekai or anything. It's set in a fantasy world. And he goes to an auction with his friends. He doesn't really have like much interest for anything in the world except sorcery. Like he just kind of sticks to himself. And he sees Nephelia, Nephi, being auctioned off there as an elf because elves are like very rare in this society. And he falls in love at first sight and spends all of his money, like his entire savings, to buy her. And she's very confused at first. The first episode is really funny because she just keeps thinking that he's going to execute her or kill her or torture her because that's what people usually do to elves, which is so sad.
Horrible.
Yeah, and so it takes a little bit of time for him to win her trust, but you can see how gentle he is with her and how much he really, really does love her, and he does everything like for her, and she in turn returns that love for him, and it's just like about the kindling of their love for each other and eventually bringing in friends and a dragon adopted daughter. And just all of these like silly things, but it is really, really sweet. I loved voicing that. It was my first time voicing like a romantic lead in a show. And it was really, really fun too because she has a very like high-pitched, breathy voice, which was really fun for me to be able to voice a character so outside of like my normal range. I always love just like expanding my range as much as possible as like a vocalist. So it was a treat. It was so fun. And my co-star, Kieran Flitton, he is absolutely incredible and amazing. And I was so sad whenever we recorded the last episode because I was so used to hearing his voice every week, like going into the studio. And it was like a comfort for me, like getting to like hear his voice. And it's so like gentle and smooth and calming. And now I don't get to hear it anymore. And it's sad.
It was a great series, honestly. It was so chill. It was like my timeout moment. If I need to go from action, what's going on, I need to sit down to chill, I go slice of life. This one was my where to go during this season.
Yeah.
So now going on from we start speaking about aggressive love and we got to sweet love. Now we're going to a different. I don't know if I don't know this is love because this is kind of bullying here. Talking about Pipi Barlier. I'm in love with. What's it?
Pipi Barlier.
Pipi Barlier. I'm in love with the Villainess.
Estoy hablando de papi.
Damn.
So, there you go. You wanted to flex your Spanish. There you go.
No, that's staying here. It was great. Yeah, you guys saw my Spanish accent. It's clear here. Pipi Barlier. I'm in love with the Villainess. I'm not talking about the Yankee guys or any reggaeton. Got a name. So, Pipi Barlier. For those who doesn't know this series about wonderful, how would you describe I'm in love with the Villainess?
Oh, this is such a fun series. It's about Ray, who is a gamer, and her favorite otome game that she likes to play is she is centered around this villainess that she's like in love with in this game, and she gets to go inside the game, so it's like an isekai, and she finally gets to meet like the love of her life, Claire, in the game, and Claire immediately bullies her, which she has a thing for. And it's so like sapphic. Like, as someone who is a lesbian, the same as like Ray, it's so real that like we just want women to bully us. It's just so funny and like so realistic, and I love this story so much, and it's very, very funny. Ray is hilarious, and Hannah Alia, who voices Ray, does an amazing job. And Peppy in it. Peppy is one of Claire's like minions.
Yes.
Yeah, she is, and she's got a little cat face and like pink hair, and she immediately is like very on to Ray, like, you don't get to speak to Claire, you are beneath her. So I think that was like a little predecessor to probably Kikoru a little bit in the way that I was voicing her. She's very like sassy, very gatekeepy.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm beginning to find a typecast here for the characters. And so it was so much fun voicing her, and hopefully they come out with more seasons, because there's a lot of material. I would love to do more seasons, because eventually down the road, Peppy does have a love story with another girl, which I would love to be seen on the screen as well as Ray and Claire. So,
and honestly, that series started getting like really deep towards the end, like very serious.
No, they were talking about themes that like need to be discussed in anime, and like it was so important, and I love that show.
It was like episode 4 or 6. They were talking about Ray was talking about I don't remember what the name of the girl was. She had white hair. Point is, Ray was talking about, okay, now this is why I forgot the name.
Misha.
Okay.
Misha.
And they were having this entire monologue. She was having this entire monologue of, no, like, this is why I like Claire, and not because of this and this and that. And we love that monologue. Honestly, it was just like great.
Yeah, I remember watching that clip, and that clip like went like around a lot, because people were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is getting discussed in anime like so eloquently."
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting together watching it, and we were like, whoa, that's a life lesson over there. Not even the books, they have explained it so well.
I know. They did a great job with the adaptation and the scriptwriters too.
Yeah, and the English cast, and they threw it through the window. It was so great. They made a great job, everybody. Because you feel the energy. You feel like all the jokes, they were landing the serious topic. They knew how to share from 3 to 4 in no time and land the message. It's a great show. It's wonderful in all aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. Emily did an amazing job. Emily Fajardo was the director of that, and she did an all queer cast, and it was just everyone, like, we had like a rap party, and I think we had like an opening party too. So all the castmates got to like meet each other and like mingle and things like that. It's so nice when we're able to like have get-togethers like that, because it's always very isolating going into the studio because everyone records separately. So a lot of the times you don't really get to talk to your castmates unless you plan something. So that those are always important and fun.
Definitely. But now talking about live, talking about real world. Abigail, how you made it to the voice acting world?
So I've been acting and singing basically my whole life. I started around like when I was probably like 8 or 9. And I was in choir and theater, and I did a bunch of acting on the stage, and then I went to school for music. So I have a bachelor's in vocal performance, and then in my last year of music school, it was in 2019, 2019 to 2020 is when I graduated. I had discovered that voice acting was a career. Like I didn't even think about that as like a possibility. But I was like trying to figure out what I was going to do after school, as one does. So I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this degree. Because like, people never really know how to use their arts degrees. So I was like, what could I do as a career? And I discovered voice acting. And I was like, oh, I think this is really cool, because I had always thought that I wanted to do film, but then whenever you grow up, you realize that like film isn't really what you think it is as a kid, and it's really inaccessible for like just like a normal person who didn't grow up in the industry. And I didn't really love the craft, and I liked theater, but like not a lot of people make money doing theater. And so I discovered voice acting, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like I don't have to like show my face or like be perceived, but I can act and do things at the same time. I can do funny voices. Like I've always done that growing up. And I had been watching anime. I started watching anime in like high school, and then I realized that like, oh, people like dub anime, and that people do that for a living. And I was like, oh, I really want to do that. That would be so cool. And so I found that it was like New York, LA, or Dallas that were the big hubs for dubbing. And I was like, well, I'm not going to LA or New York because that sounds too hard. So I was like, I'll just go to Dallas after I graduate. And so that's what I did. I just packed up and I moved all of my things to Dallas when I graduated, because I'm just a very bold person. And I just drove down here, and it took me about 3 years for me to doing classes in the area and just getting settled to start recording at Crunchyroll. But that's my journey with that. I've been voice acting since 2019, like late 2019. So for about like 5 years.
I like that you mentioned that you discover a lot of people who love anime dub. And there's way more than people that love anime dub that we're not complaining in the social media like, oh, you guys should watch stuff. Like, guys, if you like your burger with ketchup, eat it with ketchup. Let people eat their burger the way they own. And I don't know why people in social media, they want to get famous, get live, because, hey, complain about people who like English, Spanish, French, you name it, dub. And going back to your career, so how easy was to make that jump? Because you said you just graduate and you just pack everything and move to Dallas, Texas, because not everybody is able to make that big move like that. So how was it?
Well, financially wise, it wasn't horrible. Back then, the economy was a lot better than it is now. So I was able to find a 1-bedroom apartment for like $800. Now you can't find something less than $1,000 for like a very small square footage. So even in a couple years, like it's changed drastically. But I have never really had an issue with like disconnecting and like adapting very quickly to like different scenarios. I've always been a very like dream and career driven person. So it wasn't really difficult for me in that regard as just like picking up and moving my life like all the way across the United States. That wasn't that difficult for me because I've always just, the pursuit of my dreams have always been just the most important thing to me and what like drives me in my life. So it just felt like the right move, and it was just very exciting.
And talking about your career a little bit, so you mentioned you study music and acting. Do you see have you been able to perform in the music area, and do you see yourself going back to that area if you haven't done it?
I would really, really love to. The thing is, with like being in choir and things like that, they usually have a really extensive rehearsal schedule, which is hard because I'm also going back into theater. I've been doing like theater here, and so trying to juggle theater and like singing and voice acting, it's like very difficult, and a personal life. But I would love to get back into choir. There's a couple choirs in the area that are really great that I would love to be a part of. But pursuing singing in general, I have always wanted to make like a anime singing cover channel, so I'll probably be endeavoring in that someday. I've made a couple. I made one for Kaiju actually, for the opening, and I had it professionally mixed, but I didn't really post it anywhere besides social media like Twitter. So I should probably upload it to YouTube or something.
Yeah, because okay, let me just say, Twitter, when it started changing to like the paid version, it's like, for me, me as an example, Onyx, sure, he'll have Twitter. I cannot stand it, and I will not pay for anything for that. I will not pay for social media. Hell no. So whenever, I know you guys, as voice actors, you do communicate a lot through Twitter. So I'm like, okay, let me click on that. Let me click on that link. Oh, if you want to see this, you have to like sign up for Twitter or do this and that. I'm like, we're not doing this. Whereas if I go to any other social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, TikTok, I can just click on the link and go watch the content and go see how the people are reacting.
Yeah.
I don't have to sign up. I don't have to pay. I don't have to do anything for that matter. So I say, yes, if you did it and you posted it to Twitter and you're going to go to YouTube, I'm like, yes, I want to, I'm like, yes, I can actually see it now, or a lot more people can see it.
Yeah, of course. I posted it to TikTok too, but TikTok is kind of scary to me. The way, I mean, Twitter is scary too. People online in general are very scary to me, and being perceived online where there's a lot of like negativity, I don't usually like to do. But
I get that.
Yeah.
So social media, it is a career, bro. Many people underestimate the workload, psychological weight in social media, because my case, the Koki Otaku team, we try to spread the role, who handle which social media, we try to spread the load. But me as the center point of all of them, Jesus Christ, it can get heavy as hell sometimes, and I'm not going to name it, but you will be surprised which one can get more aggressive. And sometimes I had to learn myself with other voice actors that they teach me, hey Onyx, whenever this happens, just keep going, don't take it personal, try to move on, because you will see, and this is something I learned, the good people, the good reaction, they are very you don't see them that easier.
They're quiet.
Yeah, I've seen negative people that are the loudest.
Yep.
It's always
and
like
they're
that.
less. Right now, I have a video going on. You guys can go to YouTube, check it out, where the viewers are going super high. The likes are going high, but there was like a small bunch of people who are like talking negative on that episode. And last night I was kind of depressed, like, oh damn, this is I hate this going on. But then I look like, let me take a closer look. It's only like 10 people doing nonsense negative comment, and I have 80 likes and 100% acceptance, and I see almost 1.1 in 24-hour views. Like, it's more good, nice people out there than angry, heartless people.
It's true.
Anyway, leaving the psychological session of social media behind, moving on back again to the anime world, where we have a lot of roles, unique, interesting, and let's kick it off with one of my favorite series, talking about the daily life of the Immortal King, when you have the Baby Ling Wang.
Yes. That was so fun. It was so random. I remember going into the booth with Jerry, and Jerry Jewell, who directs that show, who he also directed Archdemon's Dilemma. I love him. But I think I was either in for Sylvie or I was in for just random Walla or something. And he was like, yeah, and we're going to have you voice this baby too. And I'm like, okay, like I get called in for like a lot of baby stuff. So that's like, I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, so you're going to be Baby Ling Wang. And I was like, isn't that the main character? I'm like, huh? And he's just on the, like, he has this like big sword and he's like such a small baby and he's like killing this like huge monster, and I think it's supposed to show how like even when he was like super young, like he was like just very like inhumanely strong. And so I just did like a couple baby noises, and that was the end of Baby Ling Wang. It was shortly lived.
let me tell you guys, for those who haven't seen the theory of the Immortal King, it's one of my favorite ones. I love it, and I'm still waiting for the latest season dub. Which Crunchyroll, please, can you move it on? Can you dub for this already? Because I'm getting tired waiting for you guys, and I'm not going to watch sub. Interesting a series, not manga, it's a manhwa from South Korea, which is a very interesting. No, it is Chinese. My bad.
Yeah, Chinese. Yeah.
So Donghua.
Which is
Donghua.
Donghua, which is a Studio Bilibili. They're the one who made it, and I feel like it's one of those good examples of, hey, this is why anime is not only Japan today's day. There's some people out there outside Japan that are making good quality series, good quality image, good quality story, good everything.
Yes, I love Donghua so much. Like, my absolute favorite series is a Donghua, and we need to adapt more of them at Crunchyroll. I love Heaven Official's Blessing. I'm like a huge fangirl for that show. And that's a Donghua that Crunchyroll does, that Jerry Jewell also directs. He gets all like the Donghwas usually. But we need to adapt more of them and dub more of them, because there are so many shows that are just so funny. And the way that like Chinese animation does comedy and humor is like very different from like Japanese anime, and it's so funny and like slapstick. And I think that we just need to adapt more of them. They're just so great storytelling wise too.
They're so rich in the storytelling, because, for example, this one, the daily life, we're talking about an OP character, and you will say, okay, more the same. Another anime, say, yeah, no, they told us so great that it feel kind of different, not more the same, but a great story. And the daily life of the Immortal King, and it was a great. And like you mentioned, you role as a Baby Ling Wang. That's something that we're like. Many people say One Punch Man. No, it's not One Punch Man, but it's great too.
You also mentioned backstage about the unicorn named Sylvie that was also in the daily life of the
Immortal King. Yeah, Sylvie. That was in daily life of the Immortal King. I think it was in season 4. I think, the dub has come out for that. But Sylvie, who's actually a boy, I thought that it was a girl for the longest time, but he's a boy. He's like this like cute like unicorn Pokemon looking creature, and he fights with Ling Wang in like, these battles. He gets like really big and is like very powerful. He's so cute, and it was so fun voicing him. I got to voice him for like a handful of episodes and like a bunch of different like battle sequences, and like I love doing creature noises. I don't have to worry about words, and I just get to make noises. Which is challenging in like its own way, because like it's usually really high pitched. But it's super fun. I love voicing like creatures and babies and animals. Like I'm a haunt actor too. Like I work at haunted houses, so I'm used to...
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I've been working at haunted houses since I was really young, so I'm used to doing like creature noises for hours upon end and like screaming.
So when you're making creature noises, are you is the feeling of what you're putting behind the voice or the noise directed more because of the action that's going in, or is it like in the script, does it say, oh, it's like a happy grunt or like something like that?
Yeah, it's both. So I like to think that it's like a 3-part. Like it definitely helps that I can hear the voice actor either in the Japanese, or in this case it was the Chinese actor. It helps that I have like a reference for like the original voice, which I usually just try to model after for like creature stuff. It also has in the script, it'll say like if it's open mouth or closed mouth, and it'll say like happy or sad or like the emotion, and then also usually say like what type of noise it is, like if it's a cry or things like that. And then also I can tell by like the animation a lot of the times, like I can match up like the lip flaps of the creatures. So there's a lot of like helpful tools in that help it go by smoothly.
So okay, so when you're training as an actor, do you guys ever take a class just on that? Like, okay, now let's try and voice characters without a single word and try to like give them life, give them meaning or something?
Yeah, we actually don't get trained at all.
Okay, good to know.
Kind of, whenever you get hired as a Crunchyroll like freelance voice actor, you're kind of just expected to know everything whenever you come in. And if you don't know something, you just ask the director. But a lot of the times, like, people who are preparing to like try to get into Crunchyroll will take like anime specific like ADR classes and workshops, which they have a bunch of those going on all the time. And in those classes, they'll kind of like run through like, this is what OM means. It means open mouth. This is what CM means. Like, there's all of these like abbreviations. There's like NIJ, which means not in Japanese. Like, there's like, because they can add like little like noises that weren't in the original Japanese, but they think like fits the scene. But there's like all of these like abbreviations and like shorthand words that you don't know as an actor that you kind of just have to like pick up on your own, or you have to just ask other people. But no, we don't get like an onboarding.
No, I wasn't speaking necessarily while you're in Crunchyroll or anything like that. I mean, like training as an actor or something like that. Like, oh, just today we're just going, hey class, today we're just going to learn how to do this. Like, because I know in animation, they do sometimes have a class in which let's try to make an inanimate object have more human feelings or display human feelings. I was like, okay, maybe along those lines. But I guess not.
That's so interesting. Yeah, there's not really like people who are in voice acting, they don't really go to school for voice acting. So there's not really like many programs that are like built for voice acting. So that we all just take independent workshops and classes with like industry professionals like here and there. That's how we like accumulate our knowledge.
That's something probably Kara. The reason Kara asked that because, by the way, we're bilingual channel. We go English, Spanish voice actor, and in the Spanish industry, especially in Mexico City, they have a school of voice acting. But that's kind of new, and there's a lot. We can make a full episode with voice actor. They can tell the story how they had nothing of voice acting school, and now today's day they realize we are the pioneers in the voice acting industry. We need to work with the next generation. Now they have a school of this. But
that's so
cool. It's like, okay, you're getting years of training. It's not like, okay, we're gonna do 1 or 2 months and that's it, and just call myself a voice actor or something like that. It's gonna be like, no, like over there in Mexico, they're like, oh no, you need to go to school, you need to be certified. And we're like, oh wow, it's that structured, at least over there. Because every time we are talking with English voice actors, they're like, oh, I trained in musical theater, or I trained as an actor, or this and this and that. And then when I decided let's do voice acting, then I have to take all of these other workshops. But it's on top of my prior training as an actor.
Yes, exactly. I think, and that's how it's set up in Japan too, similar to Mexico City, where they have like specific curriculum, like you have to go to these specific schools. It's very structured in Japan. I think it has to do with American culture of everyone pursuing their dreams on their own, and kind of your career is your own responsibility. And I think that, especially because voice acting, it's not seen as like a very profitable career, or everything is just very freelance, that they haven't built any programs for it, and they haven't really recognized that it's something that can be made a profit of. So there hasn't really been any voice acting schools made, or like programs in colleges.
And also industry-wise, I mean, different timing too, because again, we're not going to talk about this now, but also Mexico have a big relationship with Japan, so it makes more sense why they're copying that culture from Spanish to Japanese. So there's a lot of standard. But also speaking about another character that is very interesting of non-English language, but its own language, talking about Mokke in After School Hanako-kun.
That was so fun. I was working with Jade Saxton on that one. I love her. She's an amazing director and amazing actor. It was like a big Walla session with me and 3 other girls. And we got to voice these. They're so cute. They look like anime Peeps, which I'm obsessed with because I loved Peeps growing up. Like, I had a hyperfixation with them, and they're so cute. They just make like a bunch of like aggressive high-pitched noises, and like they're so cute. They make like they speak to they just want to take over the world. Like they're so cute. They're so cute, and they're just like, we're here to take over the world. And I'm like, y'all are adorable. That was one of the most fun sessions my most fun like Walla sessions that I've ever done at Crunchyroll. Because they were just so cute and so fun, like so cute to look at, and they just look so squishy.
Were you all together at the same time for that session?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're telling me you were together, all these voice actor, Ukulele, Monica Pistor, Amy Lowe, Dan Chamber, Madeline Morris, Lindsay
at the same time.
It was me, Ukulele, Monica, and one of those other ones that you mentioned. I think they had like 2 different sessions because in Walla, they only have 4 actors in the booth at once. So it was me and 3 other people.
That's an all-star session over there. Like an all-star. I'm looking here on the record like, Jesus? I mean, you guys were all together here. Like, that's an all-star session there.
Wait, y'all, I'm naive. I'm very ignorant in this because I don't know anything about it. Do you all have your own microphone?
No, so we are all gathered like horseshoe style around one microphone. So we all have our own headphones. Yeah, we all have our own headphones, but we're gathered around one microphone.
That was actually my original thought. I was like, it can't be. Apparently, it is.
Yeah. Yep.
And talking about us character, one that really surprised me. Talking about interesting series, Chainsaw Man. We had the voice of the Eternity Devil.
Mm-hmm. That was a hardcore session. That was with Mike McFarland. Love him dearly. A fellow emo in the industry. That was crazy, and it was like right in the middle of like we get really, really bad allergies here in Dallas because it has like some of the worst air pollution. And so like in allergy seasons, like all the actors are like really sniffly, and like it was like right and like peak in that season. So we were all gathered to do these creature noises, and we were all like not feeling great. But it was so fun. We got to do like all these like zombie like creature sounds, like just nasty. It was my favorite. I loved doing that stuff. I'm like,
I can picture
working in the haunted houses.
I can picture that. Abby, how you feeling today? Allergies killing me, feel awful. Great, come to the studio. This is the moment.
Yep. I just use all the phlegm to my advantage.
Hey, you do what you have to do to protect your course.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had a lot of fun in that session, and it was really long and like really like long cues too. Like we would be like over like a minute or 2 just like making these like nasty noises, and you'd have to do that like 2 or 3 takes.
Wow.
So it was like very grueling vocally wise, but it was so fun.
Which always surprised. This is one of those moments that surprised me. Remind me how voice actor they are like a athlete in the industry where they have to take care of their body, their health, because every part of your body, your health counts. And you say, "Oh, you just speak in the mic." Yeah, this is when you see the voice actor. They use everything from their body, even being sick, to make a voice deliver.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's terrifying, like the aspect of getting sick, not only because we're now in like a culture like post-COVID of where everyone is very terrified of sickness. So even if you have just like the sniffles or allergies, like everyone is immediately like, get away from me. There's like this pressure as a voice actor, like I can't get sick, like this is my career. And so everyone is always very vigilant about their health, like masking and like taking like vitamin C supplements and like having purifiers and in our homes. Because if you're sick, like you can't come to the studio really. Like if you're a sick, that's like contagious because everyone there, their voice is their career. So it's like very like cutthroat in that way that it's like you can't come to the studio sick or else like it will hurt your reputation because like everyone is like, because that's how they make their money. And if someone gets sick, they have to have someone else come into the studio and cover that session for them, which you see like happens like every season. Like usually every season, either that like someone's sick or they have like a conflict somewhere else, or they need to be like at a convention or something. And with how tight anime dubbing schedules are, they have to come in and have somebody replace you for that episode. Like they can't just wait for you. So it's terrifying.
To wrap it up, one of the last series, which was a piece of unique gold piece of diamond, which I was not expecting to see this and enjoy it so much. Talking about KamiKatsu, working for God in a godless world, when you have the interesting, unique character of Chilchil.
Yes, I love getting to voice these like little creatures. Like they're some of my favorite parts of voice acting. And that was Jerry also who cast me in that. He cast me as Sylvie in Daily Life of an Immortal King, and then before that he cast me as Chilchil in KamiKatsu. So he cast me twice as like these little creatures, which I'm so grateful for. But it was this cute little like chinchilla fox cat looking creature. The animation style of KamiKatsu was unique for sure.
Unique is an understatement.
It is a meme. It is a meme quality.
I think it's on purpose. Like the person who did the manga, I follow them on Twitter, and like I think everything that they do for that show is very pointed. It's like almost a parody of sorts. To all of like the isekai like genre, like or all like the anime like fantasy genre in general. So I think most people just write it off as like being like dumb, but it's actually like on purpose, like the elements that they're doing in it. I thought it was a really interesting series.
Great. He was
Alex, but it was so much fun getting to voice such a cute little creature again. And at one point the creature got sick, I remember, and then they had to do some magic to get it better. It was cute.
It is a great series. I love it. Even that I first watched it as a meme because it went to the social media like, what the heck is going on here? And I thought it was a fan made. And suddenly I'm like,
where is this the one that they take a real life footage and then just cut the character's face and put it on top? Okay.
The tractor, the guy in the farming, this is great. And then like,
so funny.
That's a fan made. And then like, oh my god, it's real. Let me tell you guys, it is great. The topic, the content, the story, everything, the character, the comedy is on another point. Not for kids, because it gets kind of spicy. It's super spicy at one point. I'm like, oh, you know the line between anime and hentai? They step on that line. They didn't cross it, but they walked right in the line. They're like, guys, you're just so close just to fall in HTV, one of those platforms soon. Well, it was.
You made me choke on water, I swear.
That show is wild. It has everything possible. It's so crazy and out there.
Definitely. It's a must watch if you want to laugh by yourself with no parents or family or kids at your house. Watch it solo. It's a After Dark anime. After Dark? Yeah, After Dark.
Oh yeah.
Anime series.
For sure.
Abigail, thank you so much for joining us on having a great session. For those who are considering joining the voice acting world, or any words of advice, or even for a fan on the anime fans.
Well, I hope you're watching, and if you are, I'm happy that you are. You should definitely watch Kaiju number 8. The last dubbed episode dropped today, this morning at 9:30 a.m. And we finally get to see who voices Narumi again, who is like one of the most highly anticipated anime characters ever. And if you really like the series, you should finish it up in the manga, because the manga is also amazing. And if you like romance, definitely watch Archdemon's Dilemma. It's super, super cute, very wholesome. And there's a lot of new shows coming out this upcoming season that are really exciting, so you should keep an eye out. The world is not over just because Kaiju number 8 ended, even though that is for me.
Well, for now, because we do have a second season coming up, so
Yes,
Announcement.
yes, it is. I think probably around like next summer, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So that is hopeful. I will at least have a job at that point. I won't
You'll definitely hear you again.
I will be working again some point in the near future.
I mean, definitely earlier. And for those who want to follow Abigail's work, career, and all the news, what's going on, which social media can they follow you?
My tag is Ask for Abigail on Instagram, Twitter. You can find me on TikTok too. I haven't really been posting a lot on there, but hopefully will in the future. Definitely on Twitter, Ask for Abigail is where I am at most of the time, even though that's a godforsaken place.
Yeah. And guys, make sure to drop some love over there. And like we spoke in early this episode, let's make more sugar than angry stuff. Drop some love in the social media. And like we always say, guys, you're struggling to find Abigail social media, can go down to the description of this video, expand the description, and right over there you'll find all the links with only one click. Going to make to Abigail social media. I cannot make it easy for you guys. Spam, click, boom, landed. And because you make it over there, well, we humbly ask you for our follow, like on the video, and follow on our social media: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube. I say YouTube already. Threads, Spotify, anywhere, anything. Just Google it, and you will find us. Probably also find which next convention we're going to be landing on. And by any chance, you're having like a breakout anime, you want to go a little bit sport, you want to learn about Formula One. Is Formula One just a mathematical equation, gasoline, sexy, millionaire people driving this crazy speed car, a lot of drama, very dramatic? You can follow Kiara's new project called Key F1, where we discuss about the 101 of Formula One. We speak about during the Astro Grand Prix, so what happened in the week, all the rumors, who was getting kicked out, who's getting a lot of money, he's about to get fired, and who should be on the grid, or all those funny rumors. Not from a very professional aspect, but somebody like you speaking about it. So Abigail, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Both of y'all were so lovely to talk to.
Thanks to you. I really have a good time. And you guys will see you in the next episode. Sayonara.
Bye.